drink it away. I tried to put one in the air. I tried to dance it away. I tried to change it with my hair. I ran a credit card bill. That in the dress and make it better. I tried to work it away, but that just made me even sadder. I tried to keep myself busy. I ran around in circles, think I made myself dizzy. I slept it away, I sexed it away, I read it away.
Welcome to Get Out of Dodge. I thank you all for the tremendous amount of support. I want to let y'all know we have a special announcement coming up soon, and the calendar will be open for special guests as well. I want to thank God for all the amazing opportunities and the strength to do this podcast each week. I also want to thank my family and friends for the support that they give on a daily basis for me to keep going and to inspire me to stay diligent in my walk with Christ. I had to sit back while getting this episode together and really self evaluate. I'm so proud of me. My life has changed, and God has shown me my next step in this journey, which you all will be witnessing with me. A lot of things are changing for the better, and I'm so blessed. Thank you all. So, today's episode is one of the hardest letters I have ever written. I have been going back and forth trying to get this out, but there was a conversation I had Sunday morning before church with my aunt that I knew I could not avoid this any longer. This episode is a letter to my mother. For those that know me personally, know that my bond with my mom has been strained for some time. But I can honestly say currently we both are in a good place. We have our moments, but ultimately we have been working hard to be better individually and towards each other. So let's go. Dear Mommy, you were chosen to bring me into this world by our Heavenly Father. God specifically chose you to be the vessel to bring 5 living children into this world. But the beauty of motherhood is God chose you specifically to bring 2 girls, myself and my sister Brianna. Mommy, as your oldest daughter, I have so much to unpack with the endless conversations we have had in the past, present, and hopefully in the future. This by far is the hardest letter I have ever written. You have told me and my siblings so many stories of your upbringing with the same amount of pain, facial expressions, despair in your voice every time the words come from your mouth. Ultimately, to break the silence to let us know what you came from, but most importantly, to be heard. I truly believe God delayed this episode for many reasons because He needed me to make sure we both were on our healing journey and strong enough emotionally and mentally to have a mature perspective on what we have went through individually and together. As I write this, I am in tears because I have been very transparent in my journey, which is very difficult at times, but I must stay diligent in my truth, no matter how it makes anyone feel, including myself. God said to me, "It's time." Its time pertains to so many things, but first I must address these 3 aspects of you. You as my mother, the child in you that also lives in me, and woman to woman. First and foremost, I love you beyond measure. God only knows my love for you runs deep. Second, this is not to bash you and make you feel inadequate in any way. You did the best you knew how. In your story, I can say, I am truly grateful for the mother you were and have become. You just wanted better for yourself and us. Thank you. Third, it's time to heal your inner child. And with doing that, it will assist in healing mine as well. So here we go. As my mother, you have lived an eventful life with raising 5 children between the Town Gardens and 97 Dodge Street. You were a teen mother straight out of high school. You became pregnant with my oldest brother. I can only imagine what it felt like giving birth to a black infant boy, Brandon, in the early 80s, 1984 to be exact, amid the crack epidemic. As a mother myself, I can understand the fear of not wanting to repeat the generational cycles and being the best mother we wanted to be, telling ourselves that I don't want to raise my child like I was raised. So you went from having my brother at 18 and married at 19. That had to be a lot to deal with at that time. I salute you. One thing I admire about you as a mother is you made sure you did the best you could. I know you loved all five of us, even if affection and being emotionally available was not something you were comfortable with. Your love languages were different to us as our mother. Due to the unwanted touching and wandering hands of people that you had in your life in adolescence, I understand the struggle of affection. I know now, but did not know then, you loved us. You had my second oldest brother, Marquise, in 1987, another infant black boy in the midst of trying to get through college, and taking the bus with two young children and married to our father. Then I came in the summer of 1988, your oldest daughter, and I remember you telling me how difficult the delivery of me was. We both could have died while I was coming into this world. I was born the day before my father's birthday. Then it was a 7 year gap, and you had another baby girl, Brianna. And then a year later, last but the greatest, came the baby of the siblings, Joshua. So, to make clear, you went back to college to further your education in the midst of having my two younger siblings. You were the epitome of self discipline, determination, and a drive to have a better life for your family with the support of my grandmother and father. So, after the many successes you achieved, I noticed the disconnect when my sister was born. I remember when you came home with my little sister from the hospital after giving birth. I remember knocking at the door, wanting to be near you and making sure you were okay. And I heard you crying through the door, and in that moment I told myself I have to be there for her and my little sister. I did not know what postpartum depression was, but I knew I had a responsibility at the age of 7 now, and that was to make sure everybody was okay. Growing up, there were a lot of great times and a lot of family functions. There was a sense of community in the village growing up. Now, this is the hard part, the dark side to motherhood that I witnessed growing up and how it correlated through the generations of your mother, you, and myself. The first thing I must address is the lack of self love that was taught through each generation, and it's no one's fault and it's no one to blame, but it's something constant in many households, not just ours. I watched you put up with so many people, from their drama, chaos, dysfunction, etc., running to their rescue and placing your family you and my father created on the back burner. From friends, family, and work, I never understood the significance of others' needs superseding the needs and want of our children, until I became an adult and did the very same thing. It was almost innate to be there for everyone else, even if pouring from an empty cup, thinking your efforts, loyalty, support, and sacrifice will be noticed, people pleasing to sum it up. A lot of the time, as parents, we tell our kids what to do and not do, but ultimately, our children learn from our actions. I remember you saying you must be there for family, you have to do what you got to do. I watched you take care of everyone else, and when grandma passed, it was like everyone disappeared, making rumors and gossiping instead of helping like you did for them. The second thing I would like to discuss is the normalcy of abuse, whether physical, emotional, financial, and sexual, and how it correlated with being made an adult while still a child. Your mother, you, and I have all been survivors of unwanted touching, violation of our bodies, and wandering hands. I think that was the number one reason why we were not hugged as children or any form of affection was prohibited. And if we were given any form of affection, it was after we were hit, belittled, ostracized, and unwillingly having to deal with adult issues that had nothing to do with us when we merely were trying to just be kids, which once again, generationally, we went through. Being made responsible of adult responsibilities and being forced to even think and act like an adult, but in the same breath, being told to stay in a child's place, which was a bit confusing at our early age. There is so much more to unpack, but the last thing I want to address is being taught how to operate out of fear. I remember many instances where we were talked out of many choices we wanted to make due to your own fears or fears that were placed upon us by others. I watched my grandmother operate out of fear when it came to being able to say no when she knew it was not right, but the fear of being alone allowed her to tolerate and allow many unfortunate things to happen in her household. I watched you as my mother operate out of fear as well. I watched you make us your world, not making a life outside of us or for yourself due to the fear of allowing anyone close to you. Avoiding confrontation and standing your ground by distracting yourself with work or buying things to fill a void that never was fulfilled. I also struggle with all the things I just spoke about and spoke extensively about in previous episodes of Get Out of Dodge. If I could say anything pertaining to every if I can say anything pertaining to everything stated thus far, Mommy, I give you gratitude because being a mother is by far one of the hardest things you must do, but the most beautiful role you have in this universe. We are the wombs that birthed the millions. And I have to say, if God gave me a choice to choose another mother, I would still choose you. Any mistakes or choices you made in life, you found any way possible to turn it around. You were given a second opportunity to be the best mother to my oldest daughter when I was not capable. I hope one day I am half the mother you were to me, my siblings, and my oldest daughter. Once again, I salute you. To the child in you and me, we are safe. I want you to know everything you endured in life was not your fault. You no longer have to live in survival. It's okay to go and live your life to your fullest potential. You deserve to be able to be a kid in a safe environment with your basic needs met and someone to advocate for you to be safe, taken care of the way you needed when you had no sense of how to take care of yourself or love yourself. When being loved instead of unconditionally, it had conditions based off the same dysfunctional expectations that should have never been placed upon our ancestral line. I love you if no one ever told you before. I'm proud of you and how your resilience flows through the tears you once shed. You are innocent, even if it was taken from you, distorting the view of your body being yours and no one else's. Asking for permission from distant family members when they took it upon themselves to kiss you on the cheek or hug you automatically, not knowing the underlying traumas you faced. Family members who forced you to hug and kiss them when you saw them or said goodbye, that you had a right to say no without it being taken as disrespect. I'm sorry they protected the predator and did not listen to you when you were tucked in at night. And then the thief in the night comes with wandering hands as we struggle with insomnia because of the subconscious physical response that we call PTSD. Once again, you're safe. Go be free and enjoy the life you deserve. Spread your wings. You are no longer wrapped in a cocoon of dysfunction, survival, misery, or pain. Spread your wings, be free. Woman to woman. I sit here and write you outside of being my mother, but as grown woman to grown woman. Let's do it differently. We know what it looks like to dwell in the past and repeat the same stories that caused us pain and when we went through and what we went through, and each time we repeat it. Yes, get out of Dodge is my final farewell to my past and to stand in my power. Let's do it differently. We have young ones looking up to us for the wisdom we possess from the many experiences that we endured as students to be the greatest teachers in this world. Step into your power, Queen. As a child of God, you are royal. Yes, every day won't be rainbows and sunflowers, but let's change the dynamic of the Black household where daughters become their mother's best friends instead of being at odds trying to prove to one another whose traumas are worse than the other. Let's do it differently. Please destroy the box you think I'm supposed to stay in because I don't have one for you. We both are allowed to make mistakes and learn from them. Every day I make sure my vision is clear to see you as a human being, not an object with no emotion. I see you beautiful. I see you beautiful, and I hear you clearly. Be proud. You beat the odds, and you had every reason with the cards you were dealt to take the wrong path, but you stood 10 toes and did not allow yourself to be a statistic. You are the elder of this village, and I will soon be an elder too. Hold my hand on this journey, Mama. I know soon I will be in another state, but don't forget the mission. Fix your crown, Queen. You are worthy and you matter in this universe. I love you and it's time. Thank you.
There at the start, before the beginning of time, with no point of reference, you spoke to the dark and fleshed out the wonder of life. And as you speak, 100 billion galaxies are born, and the vapor of your breath, the planets form. If the stars were made to worship so high, I can see your heart in everything you made. So will I. God of your promise, you don't speak in vain, no syllable empty or void. For once you have spoken, all nature and science follow the sound of your voice. Voice. And as you speak, 100 billion creatures catch a breath, evolving in pursuit of what you said. If it all reveals your nature so alive, I can see your heart in everything you say. Every pain is sky, a canvas of your grace. If creation still obeys you, so will I. 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 The stars were made to worship, so will I. If the mountains, yeah, yeah. If the oceans roar your greatness, so will I. For if everything exists to lift you high, so will I. If the wind goes where you send it, so will I. If the rocks cry out in silence, so will I. If the sum of all our praises still falls short, then we'll sing again 100 billion God of salvation, chase down my heart through all of my failure and pride. On a hill you created, the light of the world abandoned in darkness to die.